and you are watching the Weather Channel's live coverage of the flooding happening in the Houston-Galveston metro area. We are in Dickinson, Texas. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis, and it is water everywhere you look. People being rescued every single minute because of the high water that's come up as the Dickinson Bayou has come out of its banks. And a lot of rainwater is causing the flooding as well. We're getting flash flooding and river flooding combining to create an epic disaster here on the south side of Houston. We've actually had some fine gentlemen here that performed some rescues themselves, joined by Steve, and Dave Fallon is here. Dave, what's it like out there? You've been through numerous neighborhoods.
It's just unbelievable. It's there's so many people that need help, and when you get to 45, you're dealing with currents coming up underneath there. There's people under the bridge. There's people on the other side. They're stranded. They have their dogs. They have their families. They have their kids. And we're getting requests for help everywhere we go. And we have to turn some people down because we have our boat full. They need more resources out here to help these people. And when this is all done, they're going to need food. They're going to need a place to stay. I've never seen anything like what I've seen today.
How long have you been out here, Dave? How many people have you rescued?
We've rescued about 3 families.
About 3 families so far, yeah.
And then we actually came out here to save a colleague, and you know, we had to turn back a couple of times because we picked up a family of kids and a grandmother or something.
What's the need? If you get the word out right now to whoever may be watching, what's the need right now?
I would say that people need to start making sandwiches. Boaters need to start bringing fuel, auxiliary tanks. Bring your boats out here. I don't know if they're fire department or lifeguard or whatever, but they're passing by a bunch of people because they have people to save. So just help and pray for everybody here today.
Where are you headed next?
We're here to just save a pregnant lady and a couple of kids and some dogs.
We appreciate you stopping by. Know you wanted to tell the folks at home what's going on here. We'll let you go do your thing. He's got someone he's got to rescue. Dave, thank you so much. You guys are doing a great job. Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys are doing a heck of a job. This is the need. It's truly just neighbors helping neighbors at this point. If you have a boat that you can contribute, it doesn't matter what it is. If you've got a canoe, so be it. You can put somebody in that canoe and you can save them. But the need is desperate here in Dickinson as many communities go underway. It's not just Dickinson, it's many communities. Let's head to meteorologist Chris Bruin. He's in Smithville right now. And Chris, it's odd to see how this situation, how this flood unfolds everywhere you look around the Houston metro area.
Yeah, Mike, it is heartbreaking. I mean, you mentioned neighbor helping neighbor. That's exactly what we have seen here as well. We're in Smithville, about 2 hours from Houston, and as you can see, the winds are still howling. We're getting tropical storm force winds here throughout town, still causing some power outages. Schools are out here in Bastrop County for tomorrow. But again, keep in mind, flooding's been a big issue. The street behind me, it's gotten better. They're releasing water through this pump system. But earlier today, boy, was it quite a different story. That water that you see in the streets, that was in people's homes. Almost all the homes on this street were flooded, and some still dealing with water inside of them. This house, thankfully, was just spared. But houses that don't usually flood, we're seeing water from Harvey just because of how much rain we have seen in such a short amount of time. But again, keep it right here to the latest of the Weather Channel. We've got more on the uncovering story here in Houston when we return.
Well, and looking more broadly at the Houston area, a lot more rain coming down. Just about every gauge along the bayous and creeks in Harris County now in major flooding. So you've got this ongoing flood concern and a lot more rain on the way. The position of the system's not changed that much at all between tonight and early tomorrow. So much more in the way of heavy rain on the way. And Mike, we're talking about as much as 5 to 8 inches across a huge part part of the Houston Metro just in the next 18 hours, and then a lot more after that. And it's just hard to, as we've been saying all afternoon, it's hard to fathom getting more water than you've seen already, the worst that you've ever seen, yes?
It's just unimaginable. It really is. And I just don't know what we're going to do. We're going to get more water than we already have. I want to tell you what our situation is right now. We've hooked up with two gentlemen here, Lamar and Jason. They have their boat out. We're literally driving down Highway 517. And they're taking us over toward, we're headed toward 45.
Timber Drive and Deeks.
Timber Drive and Deeks. And from what Lamar tells us, their water's up to roofs. People are on their roofs, 3 to 4 feet right here. And so they've been doing rescues throughout the morning and the afternoon, but this is the only way now you can get down through this stretch of road, because you can't get through here with the trucks anymore. You can see how high the water is here now. Even the big, there's a big wrecker right there. It's underwater. So boat is the only way you can get now through this area. They've done numerous rescues with their personal boat here throughout the day, and now we're seeing more and more people arrive with their boats, with the flat bottom boats, to get to some people here. It is just a tragic scene, and we're putting out the all call at this point for everyone that may have a boat, a flat bottom boat, something where you can not have a deep hull, so if you put some people on it, it doesn't bottom out. But we need boats, even if it's truly just a canoe. You can put 2 or 3 people on that. You're saving 2 or 3 people. Okay, Dickinson is truly in a state of emergency right now, as most of the town has gone underwater. We've got continuing coverage for you right here on the Weather Channel as we watch this developing and breaking situation in southeast Texas.
And the bayou system is really a system of culverts in and around the Houston area. Let me just give you an idea. This isn't all of them. There are more. These are the big ones that they're actually turning into parks. So this I actually got from the Parks Board. But see, if it rains over here on this side of town, this water all runs through town in order to get out here into Galveston Bay. If it rains on the east side of town, that kind of goes more directly out that way in terms of these big bayous. Now, the Buffalo Bayou, here's the one that goes right through downtown and all the way over to the ship channel, the Houston Ship Channel. But then you have the Greens and the Hunting that feed into that. So these things all kind of feed into one another, and then there's more. You also have rivers, big rivers on both sides of town, the Brazos on the west and the San Jacinto on the right, and they will fill up. So rain that falls to the north of Houston will end up either in the bayou system or in the river system moving south, and that can take weeks to go back into their banks. So multiple different types of flooding issues with the bayous, which are really kind of culverts made into parks to take some of the water, and then the river system is a separate flooding entity. All right, here's the bayou right by where Stephanie is there, and there you see tomorrow is the peak, but it lasts, as Stephanie says, up to 33 feet, where that's well above major flood stage in that area there, which is right by downtown Houston. Now, here's a model. Yesterday, this model pegged the incredible rain that fell in Houston overnight last night. Today, it doesn't look well initialized. Look, it has the rain on the west side of town, but it doesn't really have the rain on the east side of town. So when they don't start out right, we're a little suspicious of the future. But what the main point of this is that look at this tonight as we go to midnight. It brings that rain that's on the west side now right over the center of Houston, right over where Stephanie is tonight at midnight. If that's right, then it's just going to be another incredible night. And over on the right side here, the rain spreads to southeast Texas and into Louisiana, and this goes on and on. All right, we're going to talk more about the potential tropical cyclone that is off of Georgia and South Carolina coming up later in the program. But let's go out to Mike Bettis, who's in Dickinson, Texas, on the south side of town, where it's been incredible there all day. Mike.
Thank you very much for that, Brian. We've actually hopped a ride on a boat now. We are at Highway 517 in Yukon here. A couple of gentlemen that have a boat. They've been doing water rescues all day long today. Jason Gutierrez with us. Tell us about what the situation's been so far today, what you've seen.
It's very devastating, man. We got people living got tents on their roofs, and it's just something I've never suspected to see. You know, it's like a reality movie you see on TV. It hurts, man. It makes you want to sit down and cry just looking at it.
You were able to actually rescue a lot of people today. You actually took a break just to get something the first time you've eaten in a long time. Where are we headed now?
We're going Yukon down to Dietz Road. That's where the majority of the heavy flooding is, where you got cars. People try to put their cars in the middle of the roadway to get it off the street, out of their yards, as you can see and stuff. And it's just the water was too much for them.
How deep is some of this water?
Right now, looking about the mailbox, probably about anywhere from 5 to 6 feet in some areas. These roads, they're like hill country. They wind down, so you could tell by like the mailboxes, like it's high there, down that way it's lower. It's crazy.
How many people would you estimate you've picked up?
So far, we've had 2,000 on our list as of 3 o'clock this morning. They were calling in and we couldn't get to them because of the rising water. Our trucks couldn't make it. The water was just so bad. You know, we just put them on a list. We made a old folks home earlier and we've got them out. So,
right. Jason, thank you so much. Doing water rescues right now in Dickinson, Texas. We'll be right back. And thank you for staying with us here on the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis. So we have an unfolding situation here south side of Houston in Dickinson where water rescues are ongoing right now. The best way to travel right now is by boat. We've hooked up with a couple of gentlemen who've been producing great results today. They are doing water rescues. They've been doing them. They started last night. They've been doing them all day today. We're right along Highway 517 here in Dickinson, and this is the only way you can get around. The water's pretty deep here. Just about every place has gone underwater in Dickinson. There are very few high spots. And so now we're headed back to a location where they've been before, where they've already done some rescues, and now they're going to go back and get some more people. They basically get to the people in need first, and then the people that might be able to hang on for a little bit longer are doing okay. Those guys there on their jet ski going out there to rescue some people. Anyone that has a water vehicle, whether it be a jet ski, whether it be a flat bottom boat, whether it be something as simple as a canoe or an inflatable, they'll take it at this point. Rescuing people is the priority. We've actually seen numerous Coast Guard helicopters overhead. They're plucking people off of roofs right now. This is just a scene that you rarely see. And certainly in Dickinson, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You can see we're going to head up here toward the intersection up here, but you can see that there are folks in the water just trying to get to higher ground at this point. It's basically becoming a save your own soul situation where you're doing everything you can to escape from the water, whether that means trying to find some higher ground and maybe just something as simple as an intersection, or it is going to a second story of a home or a roof. Anything that you can do at this point to escape the water, that's what you need to be thinking about. If you're going to do something like, we're going to go back into a neighborhood here where you can see back here, look at all the cars down the road here that's underwater, and they've been plucking people off these cars for the last couple of hours. They can only fit so many people in the boat, and it's not that the water is necessarily over your head here, but you know what you can't really do is walk through 4 or 5 feet deep water, but you put too many people on the boat, you end up bottoming the boat out. So it's a real cat and mouse, so to speak, if you will, with the rescues here. You have to be really delicate, and when you're operating the boat, you have to avoid debris, mailboxes, trees, other boats, other vehicles. So it's an ongoing situation right now, and the gentleman here actually. What happens is this: people call 911 and they're sent into the dispatch, okay? And then they relay that information, that 911 call, to the Emergency Operations Center. And then the Emergency Operations Center is keeping a list of all the people that are in need of water rescue. And then they communicate those locations over the radio to the people that are operating boats. And so they have a radio with them. They have a fire department radio with them, and they're getting instructions on where to go with their boat to pick people up, people that have called 911 and are in need of rescue. But this is just surreal. What we're watching right now is we get a ride on a boat into a neighborhood here in Dickinson where, look at the cars. And the best thing you can do, folks, is you really can't travel on the roads. They're almost all impossible to get by at this point. But what we're going to have to do is slow down here a little bit, and we're going to have to navigate through all of these stalled vehicles. So we're gonna go slow here and get through these. We're still trying to get to oh, there's someone's back in their home back here, but they yep, he's doing okay. We just literally they're just going to the next person that needs rescued. They'll go back and drop them off. They'll come back and they'll pick somebody else up. It's an ongoing effort right now by boat and by helicopter. In Dickinson, they received record rainfall. The Dickinson Bayou is out of its banks right now, and this will play out probably for the next several days. More rain still in forecast, and the water is only going to get higher. Breaking news situation in Houston as Southeast Texas goes underwater.